Hey guys, so I didn't feel that very good today. Didn't go to work. I just woke up from a nap. I'm old, so I need a nap. I went to sleep at like 1 o'clock, and I just woke up. It's now 6 o'clock. But the dreams. I mean, people. You guys know I like to, sometimes make videos about dreams I've had in the past, or maybe I have like this really weird dream, and want to talk about it. Uh, you know, but this one was pretty cool. I was the Don. I was the Don. It was so cool. So cool. Not really, like, not really him, but so, like, there was this really large area. It's like a movie theater, arcade, boardwalk thing combined into one. It was really weird. It was really weird, but really, really cool. Like, you could see people were like going around like shooting each other, non-lethal guns. It was like, I don't know what it was, but they were just kind of going around having fun, shooting each other, and but it was like a free for all in an arcade. So you could see on one side there were games and everything, but people were like running around shooting each other with these whatever they were. And then we go in, and there's like they were up kind of high, kind of like around here. The counters, the front counter where you go up and register and all that. And one the person I talked to basically looked like Paris Hilton, but with um really long brown hair. And I'm thinking, this is Paris Hilton. I'm getting taken care of by Paris Hilton. This is amazing. Like, it's Paris Hilton, just like undercover. Maybe she like lost all her money or something. I don't know. But she's trying to register me, and it's not working. First, like, the person next to me is like paying separately for theirs, and she said something like four. I'm like, yeah, and then she types. I'm like, no, no, it's not four people. It's like, is that, I was like, is that four people? She's like, yeah. I said, no, not four people. They're paying for themselves. I'm paying for myself. She's like, oh, okay. And so she tries to go. Because it came out to like $34. I'm like, which is cheap. I mean, not cheap. It's like, you know, not cheap, not expensive for four people. $34. Um, but I was like, no, it's just I'm paying for myself. So she went and tried to got it fixed and put my card in, and for some reason on the corner it says stole a Hershey bar, and I'm looking, I'm like, no, and then it wouldn't work, so we had to get someone to actually like go into the system and approve me, which is weird. So I had to find this guy, and I finally find him. We get him over, and he's like on the computer, and he's like typing, and he's typing in passwords, and because we had to give ourselves a nickname, so I called him, said the Don. So it's like it says like security or whatever clearance, and he puts the Don, and then you see it light up the green, like, okay, I'm cleared. It's just like stole a Hershey bar, and then I like started doing the voice, and of course it's in my dream, so the voice is perfect. And I talk about like a dog or something. They said something about a dog, and it was like, oh, it was the best dog. It was the furriest dog, the floofiest dog, the best. He was the bestest boy, you know. And the guys, it was just like three, like not three, like teenagers, but maybe like early 20s. But they were all laughing hysterically because they thought it was crazy that I was doing the voice. But we were walking, it's like this weird arcade type thing as well, and we went around an area, and then there's like lined up kind of like a boardwalk. And wow, that was a shiny piece of it. Actually, was that gray? Probably why it was so shiny. Yeah, I think it was a gray hair. The gray hair like came out here, and the light coming in was shining off of it. I was like, "There's something in there." He's like, "No, it's just hair shining." Um, but yeah, it was like it was really weird. So basically, just imagine a movie theater, an arcade, a boardwalk, pretty much in one giant building. A building that kind of like wasn't really it was building at first, but then you'd kind of walk and then the roof would just kind of disappear and it would lead to the boardwalk area. I mean, a boardwalk, it's outside. You don't really want an inside boardwalk because it's not a boardwalk, is it? It's just like an arcade. Um, if it has boards, I guess you consider it a boardwalk. But yeah, it was really cool though. It was really, really big, and like I said, it was like a free for all type thing. They were shooting something, I don't know, because I never got that far in the dream. We basically went to the boardwalk part of it, and we saw one of the games, went up, and I just kind of woke up. So, and then the other day, I woke up from a dream. Didn't get to finish it as usual, because that's my luck. But it was like a train station, but for like cars, not like, you know, train cars. No, they were actual like old style 20s, 30s, 40s style cars on these tracks. And it was like a taxi, not a taxi service, but kind of functioned like a train, but each one would, leave individually. And we were waiting to get to one of these cars, but they were all filled. And some of the characters in these cars. So I go into one, and they were mostly filled, but then there was like one, it had just like a plague doctor sitting in the back seat. I'm like, that's pretty dope, because she's just like sitting there, sitting up straight, and you see the plague doctor's mask with the hat. And I'm like, that is so cool. But I didn't pick that one. There was another one where there was like three people in the back. It was like two guys and two male, one female, but they're old, and I think they were dead. Like, instead of putting them in like, and I think they were, because this one looked more like a hearse. It was like actually a longer car, and there were caskets in the back, but there was three people sitting there, and they were just kind of sitting there, eyes closed, like they were dead, almost like they didn't want them in the caskets, moving around and getting damaged, so they just sat them up in the back seat. And then the third car, probably the most interesting one. It was like a car filled with women dressed as nuns, but they had demonic face paint. Not like the actual demonic faces, just demonic face paint, blacks and reds and all that. And I'm like, okay, so they're not regular nuns. So there's a chance I could go in that one and they'll have their way with me and then kill me. But at least I'll die happy, because they all look attractive, being taken advantage of by sexy girls dressed as nuns with demonic face paint. I bet they're pretty kinky. So maybe, but no, there's no room in that car. Maybe I can squeeze in the middle, but I'm a big guy. I'm a big guy, so maybe maybe they don't want to make room. Maybe it is like an old female thing, and still no men allowed. But then one of the people I was with, was like, oh, looks like we can't get anything here. We can go to a friend's house nearby, because apparently they had an acquaintance or friend or whatever who lived near the station. And we go there, and I'm walking around, and because in my dreams, my favorite transportation method is flying, not like planes. I mean, I sit there and flap my arms. No, I know. It's think of it more like, regular flying that you would see on TV, where you just kind of fly up, and kind of like Dragon Ball Z flying. Think of it that way. But yeah, I was like, well, let me just fly over there. I'll just fly over there. And they're like, yeah, but it's storming out right now. And I looked outside, and it was storming. And then like a second later, it stops. I'm like, well, it's not storming anymore. And then this guy, he looked like what you would consider like a typical surfer guy. He had the really like short like hair about there, dirty blonde, but he also had a thick British accent. And he was trying to. So I'm like, okay, well, I have no problem flying there. I'll be above above the treetops, so I won't hit anything, and I'll be able to, as I'm going along, see it. I said, I just need to know where I'm going. And then he gives me the directions. He's like, oh, you just have to go all the way down to the end of the tracks, and then you turn right. I'm like, so I'm basically going in a general that way direction. I'm like, okay. So I have my TARDIS bag with me. And I was packing my stuff up because, I was about to leave. And then it ends. I remember I had like my computer out. I was putting my computer away. I don't think my computer would have fit into that bag, but it's a dream. You can do what you want. Maybe the TARDIS bag was a TARDIS bag. You put it in, and it's bigger on the inside. So, but I was packing my stuff up, and then the dream ends because I woke up. I never got to see where I was going. I never got to fly above the treetops. But the events leading up, the car full of nuns. Not even nuns. Like I said, they weren't even nuns. I don't think. They were just girls who were dressed as nuns with demonic face paint. You know, and I'm like, well, at least I'll die happy. Because I was seriously considering going into that car. I'm like, there is a small chance that they might take advantage of me and then murder me, in some ritualistic sacrifice. But hey, at least I'll die with a smile on my face. Um, which begs the question: what would I do in that situation in real life? I mean, I already say that I know I'm gonna probably die soon. So if I saw that opportunity arise, it's like, well, I've lived my life. I've lived my life. It's the same crap all the time. I have the chance to, not only be pleasured, but they're gonna end it for me. But at least I'll have a smile on my face while it happens. So look out, ladies, here I come. Um, but then that freaking hearse, it's just, like, we don't want to damage the bodies. Let's just put them in the back seat sitting up because they were just like. And at first I'm like, what? I thought maybe they were just, family of the people in the back, but then I realized no, they were the people in the back. I'm like, well, I guess that's one way of doing it. Almost like they didn't want anyone else getting into the car, so they're just like, put them right there. Yeah, just set them up. Because they were all in suits, except for the woman, of course. Because even the people in there looked old. Be like old-fashioned suits and all that. So, but she was wearing a dress. The men were wearing suits, and it was like a hearse car style, and it was a nice car though. Like I said, these were like old style 20s, 30s, when they were made of metal, like real metal, where you could slam one into the tree and the tree falls down and the car has no damage at all. Yeah, those kind of cars. Where if one of those cars was to crash into the cars of today, the cars of today would just scrunch or just be cut through like butter. Yeah, those kinds of cars. Um, but it was weird. Just like I said, it was like a train station, but it had cars. But then the guy said to the very end of the track, which means the end of the track wasn't very far. So I guess there was other pathways. They get and then they have to turn somehow. But yeah, he's like, you go all the way to the end of the track and turn right, and I'm like, okay, so general that direction. I'm like, what is that, like northeast? So my dreams are just crazy sometimes because my waking life is so freaking boring. So boring. So boring. It's so boring. So, the Don, the floofiest dog. I don't even know where the dog part came from. They were talking about him with a dog. They stole a Hershey bar. I'm like, what? What are they talking about? There is no Hershey bar. Freaking Paris Hilton. I was like, this is crazy. This would be the point where if you were lucid dreaming, you would wake up from that lucid dream and just go back to dreaming because this is too crazy for it to be an actual, happening thing. It's like lucid dreams, it feels like reality. but you're just kind of able to control things. When you realize that you're dreaming, you go back into dreaming. You're no longer in a lucid state. And sometimes it'll happen, you won't notice it happening, like early in the morning. Like there was one day I thought I went to the bathroom. I go into the bathroom, I turn the light on, it doesn't turn on. I'm like, okay, turn it on again. Because the light in there, the switch sometimes gets stuck. It's an old house. So down, back up, and sometimes you kind of have to force it up and the light will turn on. But it wasn't turning on at all. I remember in my room, my fan wasn't on or anything, which would be weird. I'm like, okay, maybe the power went out. But then, wake up and, I go to the bathroom, the light's not on. But then I go to the bathroom again. I actually do wake up. I go to the bathroom and turn the light on. And then it's like, wait, was I dreaming? Was I lucid dreaming? Because I swore I came out of my room, I looked over, saw that my roommate was gone, went to the bathroom, tried to turn the light on, couldn't, so I had to basically piss in the dark. And then I went back to bed. So, um, yeah, lucid dreaming, it's not fun. It's be creepy sometimes. Like I told you, I made a video a while ago, and how it was lucid dreaming, and how there's like a woman's face, kind of like the 8 foot tall woman from like Japanese folklore, because that's how far it is up to this window, about 8 feet, 9 feet. And she's just looking in the window. She had pitch black, wide black eyes. Her mouth kind of like almost like a girl from like The Grudge or The Ring or something like that. And she was just staring at me. And I was like, okay, time to wake up. But yeah, lucid dreams. If it happens, you're not going to know it happens. But the minute you realize you're dreaming, it just stops. So yeah, if you look at a clock, if you're in a lucid dream, you can look at a clock, because obviously you don't know what time it is because you're dreaming. So if you look at a clock and it displays like a mishmash of numbers and letters, and you're lucid dreaming. Most times in dreams, I never really look at the time. Um, so it doesn't really come up. But in lucid dreams, if you need to know if you're lucid dreaming or not, just look at a clock. But the minute that you see it and you acknowledge that you're dreaming, well, that's when the lucid part ends and it just goes back to being a regular dream. In lucid dreams, you can do whatever you want. You control everything, which is great. People are like, yeah, you can do some of the coolest things in lucid dreams because you're controlling it. Because it feels like real life, but you're controlling it. So if you do want to fly above the treetops, you can do that. If you want to, whatever. But the minute you acknowledge it's a dream, you go back to dreaming. So, but yeah, woke up, had a dream about me just nicknaming myself the Don, in this arcade boardwalk range thing. But yeah, usually I have weird like even stranger dreams, but I guess I'm just so freaking tired and just so worn out that my mind just really, because that's not even the weirdest dream I've ever had. I've had plenty of weirder ones, but they were more creative than weird, really. Stole a Hershey bar. And like, is it stole a Hershey bar? But then nothing happens. The woman doesn't say anything about it. No one came over to talk to me. No, it's like stole a Hershey bar. I'm like, no. But yeah. So, what weird dreams have you guys had lately? Let me know. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.